the scripted 2020 World Series, all a tribute to New York native Donald Trump's last year in office before Elizabeth Warren takes over in 2021. Donald Trump was born at the Queens in New York City. The New York native is going to see his hometown Yankees win the World Series right before he leaves office. The same thing happened to Barack Obama, whose hometown was over at Chicago, where he was a law lawyer, where he was a community organizer. The Chicago Cubs ended their World Series title drought before he left office. The Chicago White Sox won the World Series a year before Obama began his campaign. All of these are proof that your world of sports are completely rigged and completely scripted. Think about Mike Tomlin, the first coach hired in the Rooney Rule. He won the Super Bowl in 2009. Tony Dungy wins in 2007 when Obama is running for president. Black coach win the Super Bowl. Same thing's going to happen with Trump and the Yankees. They're going to win the World Series and then he's going to leave office. The same thing happened to Barack Obama. It's because in Gematria, the Kabbalah code of coding letters and words into numbers, I predicted the National League to win the World Series at the start of the year. It's because the 115th World Series had everything to do with the Nationals being the only National League team to win the World Series under the presidency of President Donald John Trump. And the Nationals finished with an 11-5 record this postseason. Elizabeth Warren is going to be the first Democratic president to be elected since the year 2008, a 28 year. Her initials is 28. The blue wave is going to happen in 2020. It began a couple of years ago. It's blue wave that equals 28. It's Bronx that equals 28. New York, heavily Democratic. Manhattan overwhelmingly voted against Donald Trump, the so-called Rio native of New York, because Hillary Clinton wasn't from New York to begin with. This is what the Yankees represent. In the 116th World Series, the blue wave is going to knock Donald Trump out of office. The Yankees are going to win the World Series, but the Yankees are going to be representative of the blue wave. Donald Trump was the 44th person to become president, because Grover Cleveland served 2 terms. He may be Agent 45, but he is the 44th person to hold the office of presidency of the White House. Blue wave of 2020 to knock out the birther president, carrying on a racist legacy that will be written in the history books. That the man who openly questioned the outright birth citizenship of the first black president is not going to be reelected. Don McCon, the man who has stifled workers, contractors, lawyers, and now the American people with a huge tax bill that benefited the wealthy, trying to gut health care for millions of people instead of passing the world's greatest health care plan. It's a recession that's going to happen by 2020. You think about it, Wall Street being located at New York in the financial collapse and the Giants win the Super Bowl in 2008. It's Yankees baseball that equals 44. Wall Street may be down, but their baseball team is going to be all right. There have been 49 teams that have won the World Series. This is how I correctly predicted the National League to win the World Series and the Nationals to upset the Astros. Aaron Judge's three-peat in 2022 is going to occur during this time. This is why the Yankees are never going to win the World Series in 2019. It's the Bronx Bombers. President Trump, who's a debt king, who presides over a corporatocracy. The 2020 election is on November the 3rd, 11-3. Just because the Cubs won the World Series didn't mean that Hillary Clinton, originally from Illinois, was going to win the presidency. Don't kid yourselves thinking Donald Trump is going to win because the Yankees are going to win. That didn't work for Hillary back in 2016. The election is on November the 3rd, 11-3. It's the Yankees at 113. Last team to win the World Series before Donald Trump leaves office in the year 2021, which is a 41 year. Donald Trump is a for-life path. I've documented this in my Warren 33-6 Master Number Life Path video. The Yankees are going to become the 67th American League team to win the World Series. World Series is going to conclude over at the Bronx, New York. Bronx, New York equals 67. Donald Trump is finished. June the 14th adds up to 20. 1946 adds up to 20. In the year 20, the 46th president is going to take over, and that is going to be Elizabeth Warren, as I have correctly predicted ever since 2017, because I am far ahead of the game than all of the political cheerleading sheep. So there it is. 2020, Elizabeth Warren's going to become the first female president. I've correctly predicted this because I am very well awake of what is happening in the political arena. Donald Trump, New York native. Yankees win the World Series right before he leaves office. History is going to repeat itself. The same thing happened under Barack Obama.